Good morning, recruitment champions. How are you? It's Friday. I'm here with Claire Davis, our resident mental health coach.
Hello, Alex. How are you? Good morning, everyone.
Good morning. Good morning. So it's a great day. I'm sort of feeling a little bit flat inside. I'm not sure. I'm sort of, but I think partly because I've got to the end of the week and I'm sort of reflecting on my goals. So. Let me bring you up to speed, Claire, on where I was on Monday. So Monday, I was talking about planning, the importance of writing a list of the things that you had to do every day. And I committed from an accountability perspective to plan every single day. And I sort of failed. I wrote a little bit of a plan every day, but the relationship between what's on my plan and what I ended up doing every day is not particularly high. So I'm feeling a bit flat because of that, because I haven't delivered on some accountability. But where I am feeling good is that I did achieve some of my proactive goals this week, and one of the big goals is that the business, the recruiting gym, can run with Angela and Georgie. And so I feel like we did make some progress there. So Claire, when it comes to mental health and managing your own resilience, how do you handle not achieving a goal or a target that you set yourself?
That's a really good question, Alex. And when you were just going through your week and your feelings, when you said at the beginning I'm a bit flat, I thought there must be a reason, because we all have reasons why we feel a bit flat. And it's really understandable when we set these goals, we need to make sure our goals are realistic, and we also need to make sure that we can achieve them. And sometimes we set goals that are too big, and then we become demotivated when we don't achieve them. So what we need to look at first is readdress goal and think, was that a realistic goal? Should I
thought sitting down for 15 minutes every day to plan was a realistic goal. I was obviously thinking too big.
You might have been, you might not. So did you actually set a time as to when you were to sit down for that 15 minutes a day?
No, I didn't do that. I just kept looking at the book thinking I should be planning.
And that's sometimes where we fail, because we need to get into a routine. So the same is with the exercise. Some of us, I've been talking to a lot of friends who have been saying, I keep saying I'm going to do exercise every day and I'm not doing it. So what I've done is I have set a time every day at the same time I do my exercise.
Right. Okay.
And I haven't not done it. It's happened every day and I feel great for it. So the same is with planning. If you say every day at, say, 5 o'clock, I'm going to spend 15 minutes on my own, wherever you are, without the kids, without any distractions, and plan. But what we need to go back to is our mindset. Instead of thinking, because I didn't achieve this goal, I'm a huge failure, let's change it and think, okay, Alex, what did you do that was, you may not have achieved the whole goal, but what did you do that you did achieve because of setting this goal?
Okay, right. Yeah, okay. So what did I achieve?
Yeah, what did you achieve?
I have done good things this week. We're one step closer to launching the new gym. Georgie's back on board. And Georgie, who's for those who don't know, Georgie's the rock of the business. She runs the marketing function, so she's back on board, and it's sort of getting the dream team of Angela and Georgie up and running to work their magic, really.
So what happens with our brain is we go into primitive brain, and what happens to our brain is we look at all the negatives and say, well, I'm a failure because I didn't achieve the goal that I set, instead of saying, okay, this is what I'm going to do to make sure I achieve the goal now. It didn't happen this week for some reason, so maybe set yourself a time. And what are the positives that have come out of this week? And the positives in getting your brain into thinking, I've got to start planning, are huge, because you've started planning the way you want the recruiting gym to be set up, and you're starting to talk to everyone about it.
Yeah, and it is good. And I guess I think it's difficult when you're in the same place. I think because we're working so digitally now, when I spend time running for trains, and actually when I deliver training courses, that sort of used to be my time when I sort of lost myself in the task. Does that make sense? And it was mindful in the fact that I love helping people do better. I love helping people improve. And I sort of don't have any mindful activities in my work life anymore. And that's always been.
You've got the stand-ups. You've got the webinars. You're leading a great team. You've done so much good. So let's look at the positives. And the other thing we have to remember is that a lot of our planning was done when we weren't working from home, when we were working in the office. A lot of our planning was done on our trip into work,
Right.
our trip back from work. That's where we sort of wound ourselves up and planned for the day, and then coming back from work, wound ourselves back down. So what I've been suggesting to a lot of my clients is, how do you get to work? Do you ride your bike? How do you usually get to work, Alex?
I would normally either drive to Parkway and get a train somewhere.
Yeah. Or when you're in Bristol, how do you get to work?
I used to probably either get the train or I used to ride my bike. So
okay. So that time, how long did it take to ride your bike?
about 25 minutes, half.
Yeah. So what
an hour?
I'm suggesting to my clients is that they 25 minutes or half an hour before they start their work, go for a bike ride as if you're going to work. And on the way home as well. Do what you would usually do.
Bring up, Claire. I'm not sure whether it's you or me.
I think it's you.
That's cool.
You.
Now, Alan said, is it me? Right. Okay. So in terms, Alan said here is that he's found that people don't achieve their goals because the purpose isn't strong enough. The reason to do it lacks the desire. So does my sort of lack of planning to this week mean I don't want the gym to succeed?
I don't know. You're going to work that one out yourself. I'm not a psychologist. Yeah. I'd say I do want the gym to succeed. I think where I'm struggling, and I think this is where, when you've been struggling for a while and you've been working hard for a while, I think the purpose doesn't go, but I think your energy to achieve that purpose goes. So I haven't had a day off really for Christmas. Like that's not. So what we need to work out is, what do you need to bring in your life to get that energy back?
Yeah,
and I agree totally with Alan. Purpose is one of the biggest preventative measures to have positive mental health. So preventative measures of negative mental health, where we feel down. If we've got a purpose, we're going to be so much more positive.
Yeah.
We're going to be less stressed. So it's really thinking about, what is my purpose? I mean, I woke up on Monday feeling a little bit, Groundhog Day, here we go again. More Zoom calls, more this. I don't get to go to London, one of my favourite places in the world. It's a bit like, but it's, how do I switch it? What am I doing that's good? And what's happening a lot in the recruitment sector and the training sector is that we're not getting paid for a lot of what we're doing at the moment. And sometimes it could boil down to the fact that the purpose of our payment, we're not getting our money. And a big purpose, the underlying money.
That's definitely the case. And I think one of the things about lockdown is that the purpose, we've spoken about this lots, is that you've had your purpose and that the way you're going to get to that purpose has been totally transformed. And emotionally, it's been a very draining experience, which means that actually I speak to a lot of people that are starting to just run low on sort of fight. Does that make sense in terms of sort of doing that? And so it made I probably need a holiday, but it's good because the caravan is coming out in first week of July.
Can I ask you a question? What do you do on weekends, Alex?
Well, the last 3 months I've basically been doing DIY and managing children and doing the odd. So I do some stuff on weekends, but
you've not stopped, Alex. You've got to give yourself a break. And weekends, I know DIY is great. And I find that on a weekend, if I don't do anything, that's when I'm really low on a Monday. I've got to do something. So I've got a purpose as well on the weekend, but I've cut it down. So I'm painting the inside of the house at the moment. Now, I could decide I want the whole inside of the house painted by the end of June. Now, that's not going to happen. I'm sorry, I need to rest as well. We need to rest our bodies. Yeah. So what I've done is, every Saturday, I do 4 hours of painting, and that's it. So I'm doing sections. Yeah, so,
no, that's true. And I guess from an at-home perspective, because we had all this building work done and we haven't been able to finish it, I've got this mammoth list of tasks to basically finish.
Yeah. So can I ask you, how do you eat an elephant? I've asked you this before.
Is it one bite at a time?
Yeah, come on, Alex.
And we
one
are.
bite at a time.
The thing is, it's not the eating the elephant that does. It's looking at how big the elephant is.
Yeah. So let's break it down and let's celebrate those small wins. So often we just look at the massive elephant.
Yeah.
And we don't look at those small wins and those small celebrations. So I'm celebrating because I've actually painted 2/3 of my kitchen living area, which is open plan. I'm celebrating. You know, it's great. It looks great.
And to be fair, I mean, there is the little wins. So let me tell you some of the little wins. By the end of the weekend, I will have fitted every box that I have in the loft for the house. So I haven't got anything left to. I haven't got anything left to fit. So. Which is fantastic, but I think that at the heart of it is it's just been relentless, hasn't it?
Has been relentless.
And that's the challenge. So,
and it does feel like Groundhog Day. Watch the film if you haven't watched it, because it is feeling the same as that. So Sarah Clark has got a question. I've struggled with team members lacking desire to achieve their goals, and as a manager,
is it me?
I think it's you, but I'm not sure from the other end. So I've continued talking. So let's continue talking.
Yeah, no, maybe it's picking up in the middle. I'm not getting you.
Oh, and I'm not getting you. We're not getting each other.
Oh my God, we're lost in translation.
So let's go back to Sarah Clark. Which is about team members achieving their goals. As a manager, we find this one of the hardest people management areas, and it is, Sarah. So it's actually letting team members know that we're there to support them. And if they're not achieving their goals, how can we break them down more so that we make sure they're more realistic and they're more achievable? Because goals should be motivating.
Yeah.
They shouldn't be demotivating, because that's when it causes people stress.
Yeah. Also, I think it's the job of a manager now, even if someone's in work or furloughed, is to help them with those goals. Yes. Just like the business owners are a bit lost, I'm sometimes a bit lost.
Yeah.
And it maybe you've got to help them. Also, I think the intensity of the situation means that it's sort of more like it's a storm. Does that make sense? On a sunny day, you can see far ahead and you can see where you're going, where it's sort of, I guess the nature of what we're doing is that we're fighting through a bit more of a pea soup.
Yeah.
But it's nothing.
I look at it as the light at the end of the tunnel. Sometimes we see that light flickering, and sometimes it's completely dark.
Yeah.
So we've just got to get that light flickering and realizing we are going to get through this.
And we are, you know, and it's I think one of the things I'm not very good at, and this is me, is I'm not very good at looking back and going, actually, I've made a lot of distance. And so that's a failing of mine, really, to actually celebrate the journey that
can I ask you, Alex, do you write a gratitude diary?
Absolutely not. I can't write a daily plan, Claire.
Come on. Every night before you go to bed, I'm going to challenge you to buy yourself a diary that just has 3 lines to a day, and just write down 3 things you're grateful for. I've
tried in the past. I found it very hard, and that's partly the way my brain works.
Well, at dinner, another way we can do it, if you don't want to write it down, is at dinner. When you're having dinner with the family, you each go around and say 3 things that you're grateful for the day. I do that with my kids, and it's really, really good at getting our brain into positive brain.
And I think I probably need to begin to turn that wheel over. But with all these things, Claire, same with a lot of people that are working hard at the moment, it's nothing a few placements wouldn't fix, and it's nothing a few days training wouldn't fix. And actually, like it's I think it's, for me, it's a feeling of progress. I've actually won a little bit of work this week, which is good. But it's just a question of feeling like you're making progress. And I am, you know, I've had a great week with Georgie, and we've had a great week with Angela, and it's just you feel like,
And progress is motivational. It is motivational. It's one of the motivators on Hertzberg's 2-factor theory.
Yeah.
So
okay.
Definitely.
Fantastic.
So we could talk about this all day, couldn't we?
We could. So this has sort of been I think Friday's turning into my sort of counselling session / weekly 1-to-1.
Yeah, I felt like I
and
counselled Angela
hopefully,
last week as well about exercise. Angela, I hope your exercise is really happy exercise now.
yeah,
So, yeah.
and I think it's good, and hopefully the people that are watching sort of some of it empathizes. Hopefully, I'm not the only person that's feeling a bit like this. So,
No, you're not. There's plenty of us. So Angela has just popped in the chat about my webinar on Monday with a fantastic lady called Carol Roberts, and we're talking about nutrition and how nutrition helps us
I
with
am
our mental health.
absolutely going to watch that.
She's great.
Absolutely going to watch
Great.
that. It's going to
Wait
be
to see her.
fantastic. So,
And I'm still running my Wednesday workshops on furlough. How
okay.
to come back after furlough and integrate your teams for the non-furloughed and the furloughed. Some teams are integrating really well, but some teams are finding it really hard with mindsets.
Great.
And also, that's what I've started, Alex. I want to quickly tell you, I've started doing YouTubes called Mental Health Chats.
Woohoo!
From all around the world. So watch them, find the channel, Mental Health Chats. And I started, the whole history of it's there. So we've got, the next one goes up today. We're going to do it weekly.
Well, and I love the fact that people are trying things new, and I know technology
We've lost Alex again, or we've lost me again.
has always been your favourite topic, but you're creating your own course, you're doing
loads. I'm loving
you're
technology. And you're helping me there, Alex, as well. You're absolutely amazing. So thank you very much.
I think, no worries. Well, I think we had a bit of a lost each other for a moment there. Yeah. But I'll say goodbye to everybody. Say goodbye, Claire.
Have a great weekend. Remember what you've achieved this week, what you've done well. Be grateful for it.
I will. Okay. Thanks a lot, Claire. See you later.
Okay. Bye. Bye.